Hello YouTube, Salivate Metal here, and what you see here are 3 Perth Mint bars of 4/9 fine pure gold. Or are they? What you can see here, they're very nicely detailed, nicely struck, with that fine Perth Mint quality, with sort of that matte finish there, and a proof-like features, and we've got the repeating logo here on the reverse. Very nice with the kangaroos. So these look like nice bars. And of course, they're out of the assay card, but you know that's okay. Look at the quality of these. Very nicely done. So then that begs the question. Well, that's kind of odd that they're out of the assay card. Most people, when they buy these gold bars, they put them in the assay cards. You know, kind of like this. So what's going on here? But look. They're the same size. So, and it looks pretty much exactly the same, right? Except for that's in the assay card. And by the way, I still have the plastic over the sort of card. I just kind of like to keep everything wrapped and protected there. But for all intents and purposes, it looks the same. Even down to the kangaroos and the positioning of them, including this little spot here. Matches up with that little spot there. That little tail there, that tail there. So everything pretty much looks the same. Looks legit to me, right? Well, there's a problem. And the first problem is that it's not an assay card. And so that should raise, some red flags there. But not necessarily, because there's been times where people take these out of the assay cards. But here's the problem. And whenever you do buy these things, if you look on the internet and buy these things without the assay card, then be very cautious. And if you only get the front view and the back view, then be very, very cautious. Be very careful. Because when you look at the side, that's really where you need to look. That's your first sign as to whether or not these are real or not. Because as most of you know, I am mostly down with the thickness, but not when it comes to gold bars, 1 ounce gold bars of this particular size, which is a relatively standard size here. Because look at the thickness of that one in the assay card. Much thinner bar. Because gold is very dense. It's a very dense metal. So I purchased these 3 bars from Alibaba, knowing that they were fake, because I'd seen some videos on them. And in fact, I saw one video that was pretty much a panic video, stating that you should never trust anything you buy off of eBay as being genuine. And he showed these bars. And of course, he showed them. And but I'd immediately noticed, well, just look at the thickness of them. And so that's really these are essentially gold-plated copper or gold-plated brass. And under any kind of gold testing equipment, they come back as negative, but you don't even need to test them in gold. You just need to look at the thickness, and you can see the difference in thickness here is quite abundant, because these do most assuredly weigh in at 1 ounce. And the other fact is that, that's the one way to check, is by that thickness. So if somebody posts these things on eBay or what have you, make sure you see the side, or ask to see the side in an extra picture, if they're not in an assay card. But I just wouldn't buy them if they weren't in an assay card. But with that being said, just because they are in an assay card does not mean that it's genuine. Because in my research and in my purchase of these, which by the way I purchased them from Alibaba, and they were in China. These actually came from China. And in order to get a fake bar in an assay card, it would have cost several $100s to get one of those. Because what they do is they make them in assay cards and about this thinness, and they essentially gold layer tungsten. And by gold layer, I mean really apply a heavy gold plating around the tungsten bar, so that some testing equipment may not be able to recognize it at first. But there are some differences in the assay card. But honestly, if you look at this card, it doesn't look like it's too difficult to reproduce. Because there's not many security features on this assay card that look like they could be done in such a manner to be anti-counterfeited. So be very careful. But nonetheless, this bar did test out okay, and that's why I purchased this recently, the Precious Metal Verifier. And you've seen this in some other channels. IQONet has one, Silver Diva has one. And so does Silver Slacker has done some videos with showing this particular verifier. So I went ahead and purchased one, and it's brand new, so it smells terrific. And if you're going to be buying gold, especially in this manner or form, it's probably a good idea to get one of those. And it's not a fail-safe precious metal tester for gold and silver, but I think it will give you a little bit more confidence in what you have in the electromagnetic signals that these metals, can be detected with that unit. So I think it's a good idea probably to have one if you're going to be acquiring a substantial amount or even a medium amount of precious metals. But be careful out there. But I urge everyone out there buying gold from eBay, no matter the source, to be just don't take the word for it that's going to be genuine and pure. But at the same time, don't panic either. There's ways from private sellers. I think the larger dealers are fine, like APMEX and the like. But still, you never really know. In fact, I've tested some of my other precious metals that I've bought from other dealers, from reputable dealers, just to be safe, because sometimes things can slip through the cracks, and so you just got to be careful. So there you have it, kind of a word of caution, but not too much caution. Enjoy your precious metals, but just check them out, and use common sense when making purchases on the internet, and from sellers that you don't know, and the like. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to y'all for watching. Encourage you to please rate, comment, and subscribe.